Just seems to want to wait away too. What if I told you that true attraction, real power, and unwavering confidence aren't built on noise, tricks, or constant validation? Respect rarely goes to the loudest person in the room. It moves quietly toward the person who stays calm, controlled, and impossible to shake. In every workplace, every social group, and every circle of influence, there is always one person who seems to command respect without begging for attention. That person does not try too hard. That person does not explain every decision. That person does not react to every comment. Their presence feels different. Their words are fewer. Their reactions are measured. And strangely, people listen more closely to them than to anyone else. This is not luck. This is behavior. Subtle behavior that signals strength before a single argument is made. Many people spend years trying to earn respect by being overly polite, overly helpful, or constantly available. Yet the more approval they seek, the less seriously they are taken. Respect works in the opposite direction. The moment someone stops chasing validation and starts controlling their behavior, the entire dynamic begins to change. Psychologists often point out that humans read social signals within seconds. Before anyone fully understands your personality, they already form an impression based on how you react, how quickly you respond, how much you talk, and how much control you show over your emotions. Those tiny signals tell people whether you are confident or uncertain, calm or reactive, strong or easily influenced. The surprising truth is that many behaviors that trigger respect can appear slightly cold on the surface. Not rude, not aggressive, just controlled, calm, and emotionally steady. This type of cold behavior confuses people at first. They expect a reaction. They expect long explanations. They expect emotional responses. But when those reactions never come, the balance of power shifts. Suddenly people start paying closer attention. Suddenly your words carry more weight. Suddenly the same people who ignored you before begin treating you differently. History, leadership studies, and even modern workplace psychology reveal the same pattern again and again. The individuals who gain the most respect are not always the most talkative or the most outgoing. Many of them practice quiet discipline in the way they behave. They pause before speaking. They set boundaries without apologizing. They remain calm when others lose control. These actions may look small, but they send powerful signals to the human brain. People instinctively respect emotional stability. People instinctively respect someone who cannot easily be pushed, pressured, or manipulated. That calm distance creates a sense of authority that words alone can never produce. And here is the part most people never learn. These behaviors are not personality traits that only a few people are born with. They are habits, simple habits that can be practiced and developed over time. Yet very few people talk about these habits openly. Most advice focuses on being more likable, more friendly, more agreeable. Those qualities can help build relationships, but they do not always create respect. In fact, being too agreeable can sometimes create the opposite effect. When people sense that someone will always say yes, always explain themselves, or always react emotionally, they begin to take that person less seriously. Respect fades when control disappears. On the other hand, when someone becomes calm, selective with words, and comfortable with silence, something interesting happens. Conversations slow down. People listen more carefully. Even small statements start to feel more powerful. This shift does not come from being harsh or unfriendly. It comes from discipline in behavior. Throughout this video, 7 specific cold behaviors will be revealed. Each one may seem simple at first, but together they create a powerful change in how others see you. These behaviors are used by respected leaders, confident individuals, and people who naturally command attention without forcing it. Some of them involve controlling the urge to explain yourself. Others involve using silence in ways most people never consider. A few of them challenge common social habits that quietly weaken your presence. Each behavior sends a signal that you are grounded, self-controlled, and not easily influenced by pressure or emotion. And once people start receiving those signals, their attitude toward you begins to shift almost immediately. Some of these behaviors may feel uncomfortable at first. That is because most people grow up learning the opposite habits. They learn to respond instantly. They learn to apologize even when it is unnecessary. They learn to over-communicate and defend every decision. Breaking those patterns requires awareness, but once the patterns change, the results can be surprising. Conversations become easier, boundaries become clearer, respect appears in places where it never existed before. This transformation does not require dramatic personality changes or complicated strategies. It begins with small behavioral shifts that quietly reshape how others perceive you. By the time this video reaches its final point, the last behavior will reveal one of the most powerful social truths about respect. It is a truth that many confident individuals understand, but rarely explain openly. That final idea often changes the way people handle conflict, disagreement, and even everyday conversations. Watching until the end will help connect all 7 behaviors together so they form a complete picture of calm authority. Missing even one of them can leave the system incomplete because each behavior supports the others in subtle ways. This channel focuses on psychology, self-improvement, and the hidden social patterns that shape how people treat one another every day. The goal is simple: to uncover practical insights that help you move through life with more clarity, confidence, and control. If the idea of understanding human behavior and building quiet strength interests you, then you are in the right place. So stay with the video, watch each behavior carefully, and notice how small changes in attitude can completely transform the way others respond to you. And if you want more content that explores powerful psychological ideas like this, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and become part of a growing community focused on personal growth, discipline, and mental strength. The first behavior begins now. Respect forms faster than most people realize. Long before a full conversation begins, the human brain is already making quiet judgments. Small signals are constantly being read: posture, tone, patience, emotional reactions, and the way someone responds to pressure all send information about confidence. Words matter, but behavior speaks first. Many social psychologists explain that people often decide how seriously they will take someone within seconds. That decision rarely comes from a speech or a long explanation. It comes from subtle signals of control. Someone who appears calm and grounded immediately creates a different impression from someone who looks anxious, defensive, or overly eager to please. This is why 2 people can say the exact same sentence, yet receive completely different levels of respect. The difference is not the words themselves. The difference is the emotional energy behind those words. When behavior looks controlled, people interpret it as strength. When behavior looks desperate, people interpret it as weakness. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to earn respect is trying too hard to explain themselves. The moment someone begins to defend every action, every decision, and every small choice, the conversation shifts in a subtle way. Instead of appearing confident, the person begins to look uncertain. Over-explaining often comes from the fear of being misunderstood, but ironically it creates the opposite effect. The more someone talks to justify themselves, the more others start questioning their authority. Confidence rarely needs long explanations. When someone is secure in their decisions, they speak clearly and briefly. They say what needs to be said, and then allow silence to follow. This short and direct communication signals certainty. It shows that the person trusts their own judgment. In contrast, long defensive explanations suggest doubt, even when the decision itself is correct. A simple example appears in everyday situations. Someone asks for a favor that you cannot or do not want to do. Many people feel the need to create a long story to soften the refusal. They begin listing reasons, circumstances, and apologies. They speak for several minutes just to avoid saying no directly. But this behavior sends a hidden message. It tells the other person that your boundaries are flexible and that your decisions require approval. A confident response looks very different. It is short and calm. A clear sentence such as "I will not be able to do that" communicates everything that needs to be said. No extra explanation is necessary. The sentence may sound slightly cold to someone who expects a long justification, but it carries quiet authority. Clarity removes confusion, and clarity often creates respect. Silence plays another powerful role in human interaction. Many people fear silence in conversation. A quiet moment feels uncomfortable, so they rush to fill it with more words. They explain again, repeat their point, or add unnecessary details. But silence has a different effect when it is used intentionally. A calm pause signals composure. It shows that someone is not afraid of the moment. Instead of reacting instantly, they take time before responding. This small delay changes the rhythm of the conversation. It slows things down and forces others to listen more carefully. When someone speaks immediately after every comment, their words blend into the noise of constant conversation. But when someone pauses first, their words stand out. In negotiation rooms, courtrooms, and leadership discussions, experienced communicators often use silence as a tool. After making a statement, they stop talking. The quiet space that follows creates pressure. Most people feel the urge to speak during that silence, and in many cases, they reveal more information than they originally intended. Silence can expose impatience in others, while showing patience in the person who remains calm. This is why people who master silence often appear more powerful. They are not reacting to every moment, they are observing it. Another signal that strongly influences respect is emotional control. Emotion itself is not weakness. Every human being experiences frustration, anger, disappointment, and excitement. The difference lies in how those emotions are expressed. When someone reacts instantly with visible anger or panic, others see an opportunity to influence them. Emotional reactions reveal pressure points. Once people know what triggers a reaction, they can use it. But when someone stays calm under pressure, the situation changes. Calm behavior blocks manipulation. It creates uncertainty for anyone trying to provoke a response. During conflict, the calmest person often gains control of the situation. Imagine two people arguing. One voice becomes louder, more emotional, more aggressive. The other voice remains steady and controlled. Observers naturally gravitate toward the calmer person. Their stability feels reliable. The louder reaction may contain strong opinions, but it loses credibility because it looks uncontrolled. Emotional discipline does not mean suppressing every feeling. It means choosing the moment and the manner in which emotions are expressed. When control is visible, respect follows. Another behavior that quietly shapes respect is the way boundaries are set. Many people struggle with boundaries because they fear disappointing others. They believe saying no will damage relationships, so they soften every refusal with long apologies. They begin sentences with sorry, even when they have done nothing wrong. Over time, this habit weakens their authority. Constant apologies send the message that your time and energy are always available for negotiation. When someone apologizes for every boundary, others begin expecting that flexibility. Strong boundaries look simple on the surface. They are clear statements about what you will or will not do. They do not require long emotional explanations. For example, a person might say, "I cannot take on another project right now." The sentence is calm and direct. It does not blame anyone, and it does not invite debate. It simply states a limit. Boundaries like this communicate self-respect. They show that the person values their time and understands their limits. Interestingly, people often respect boundaries even if they do not like them at first. Clarity creates structure in relationships. It tells others where the lines are drawn. Listening is another overlooked behavior that influences how people perceive confidence. Many assume that respect comes from speaking frequently or dominating conversations. In reality, the opposite can be true. People who talk constantly may appear nervous or eager for attention. Their words fill the space, but they rarely pause to observe what others are saying. A calm listener creates a different atmosphere. By speaking less and paying attention more carefully, they gain information that others miss. When someone listens with patience, others feel acknowledged. This feeling encourages them to speak more openly. They share thoughts, ideas, and details they might otherwise keep private. The listener gains insight without needing to force the conversation. Over time, this habit builds trust. People begin associating the listener with thoughtfulness and intelligence. Speaking less does not mean remaining silent forever. It means choosing moments carefully. A short statement delivered after careful listening often carries more impact than a long speech delivered without awareness. Movement and pace also communicate psychological signals. Nervous energy often appears as speed. Quick movements, rushed speech, and constant interruptions suggest anxiety. When someone moves quickly through conversations, others may sense tension even if the words themselves sound confident. A slower pace creates a completely different impression. Calm movements suggest that the person feels comfortable in the moment. They are not rushing to prove anything. They are not racing to finish a thought before someone interrupts. Their pace communicates presence. Speaking slowly has a similar effect. A measured tone allows each word to be heard clearly. It also forces listeners to slow down mentally. Fast speech can overwhelm the conversation and reduce clarity. Slow speech allows ideas to land. It shows that the speaker is in control of their thoughts. This does not mean dragging every sentence or speaking unnaturally slowly. It simply means avoiding the rushed rhythm that often accompanies nervousness. Small pauses between sentences create space for ideas to settle. Presence often grows stronger when actions appear deliberate. Instead of reacting instantly, someone might take a moment to consider a response. Instead of interrupting, they wait until the other person finishes speaking. These small adjustments create a feeling of stability. People naturally gravitate toward individuals who appear steady and predictable under pressure. That steadiness builds trust, and trust becomes the foundation of respect. The final behavior connects all the others together. It involves the willingness to walk away from situations that remove your dignity. Many people tolerate disrespect because they fear losing approval, opportunity, or connection. They remain in conversations where they are not valued. They continue explaining themselves to people who have already decided not to listen. Over time, this tolerance signals weakness. Others begin to treat the person as someone who will accept any treatment. Walking away changes that pattern instantly. It sends a clear message that respect is required for interaction to continue. This action does not need drama or confrontation. Sometimes it is as simple as ending a conversation calmly or declining future interaction. The important signal is that the person values their self-worth more than temporary approval. When others realize that someone is willing to leave rather than accept disrespect, their behavior often changes. Boundaries become clearer. Interactions become more balanced. This shift occurs because power in social situations often belongs to the person who needs the interaction less. Someone who depends heavily on approval tends to tolerate behavior that undermines them. Someone who feels comfortable stepping away holds greater control. That control is not used to dominate others. It simply protects dignity. People sense this independence quickly. They recognize that manipulation will not work because the person is not desperate to stay. When these behaviors appear together, they create a consistent pattern. Short, clear communication removes unnecessary explanations. Silence adds weight to words. Emotional control prevents manipulation. Boundaries protect time and energy. Listening builds understanding. Calm pacing signals confidence, and the willingness to walk away reinforces self-respect. None of these actions require aggression or harshness. They simply reflect discipline in behavior. Cold behavior in this sense does not mean cruelty or indifference. It means the ability to stay steady when emotions around you begin to rise. It means choosing calm responses when others expect immediate reactions. It means speaking clearly without searching for approval. Over time, people notice this stability. They begin approaching conversations differently. They interrupt less. They listen more carefully. The dynamic changes because your behavior signals that you cannot be easily pushed or persuaded by pressure alone. When approval stops being the goal, interactions become simpler, decisions become clearer, conversations feel more balanced. Respect often appears quietly in that space, not because someone demanded it, but because their behavior naturally created it. And once people begin recognizing those signals, the way they treat you begins to shift. Respect has a strange way of appearing when you stop chasing it. Many people spend years trying to impress everyone around them. They try to say the right things, react the right way, and keep everyone happy. But the harder someone tries to gain approval, the more invisible they often become. The truth is simple, but powerful. Respect grows in silence. It grows in calm decisions. It grows in the quiet confidence of someone who does not feel the need to prove themselves every moment. The moment a person stops trying to impress everyone, something shifts in the way others see them. Their words become sharper, their presence becomes stronger, their silence becomes noticeable, and suddenly the same people who once overlooked them begin to listen more carefully. The behaviors in this video may look simple on the surface, but together they change the way people respond to you. When you stop over-explaining yourself, people start taking your decisions more seriously. When you become comfortable with silence, your words gain more weight. When you control your emotions, others realize they cannot easily provoke or manipulate you. When you set clear boundaries, people understand that your time and energy have value. When you speak less and listen more, you gather information that others miss. When you slow down your movements and your speech, you project calm confidence. And when you show that you are willing to walk away from disrespect, people quickly understand that your self-worth is not negotiable. These small changes may not seem dramatic at first, but their impact builds over time. Conversations begin to feel different. The way people approach you begins to change. The respect that once felt distant starts appearing naturally, not because you demanded it, but because your behavior quietly earned it. The most powerful part is that none of these behaviors require a complete personality transformation. They simply require awareness and discipline. A few controlled responses, a few calm pauses, and a few clear boundaries can slowly reshape how the world treats you. Now, the real question is personal. Which of these behaviors do you already practice in your daily life? And which one surprised you the most today? Maybe it was the power of silence. Maybe it was the strength of short answers. Or maybe it was the realization that walking away from disrespect can completely change how people see you. Whatever stood out to you, share it in the comments below. Reading your thoughts and experiences helps create deeper conversations around these ideas, and it also helps others learn from different perspectives. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep learning powerful psychological insights that help you grow stronger, calmer, and more confident, make sure you subscribe to the channel. This channel is all about understanding human behavior, improving your mindset, and building the kind of quiet strength that earns real respect in the modern world. Also, take a quick moment to like the video if you found it useful, because that simple action helps more people discover this content and join the community. And if you know someone who could benefit from these ideas, share this video with them. Sometimes a small shift in behavior can change the direction of someone's confidence and relationships. You never know who might need to hear this message today. More powerful psychology insights and self-improvement ideas are coming in the next videos, so stay connected, stay curious, and keep building the kind of presence that speaks even when you say nothing.